Hey YouTube, this is Nashtaters. Welcome back to another episode of War of the Visions. So, if you haven't seen last Sunday's arena compilation videos, I would highly suggest you go check that video out and pause this video. The reason being is there's a special thing that happened in the beginning of the video. Pretty much just first 5 minutes. I would recommend checking that out before you actually watch this remainder part of this video. Alright, now let's get this video started. So today's review video is going to be on Vinera and has been requested by one of the viewers. As you can see, I actually got Vinera on this account. And I got this last Sunday from the free polls and I'm quite excited. So now I can actually use the unit on my account. Let's begin the review with her stats. Alright, when we're taking a look at her stats, some of the things that we really want to take a look at for this specific unit is going to be her movement, because she's a high damaging unit and therefore mobility is going to be very important. So her move is going to be a 4. And that's very, very good for her, meaning that she can get into the mix of things and really do some damage as fast as possible. She has a HP of 2063, which is pretty good for a unit that's considered to be quite squishy. Her speed is very good at 59, making her very fast, therefore very ideal for moving first, and combining her mobility, she's going to get into the mix quickly and doing large amounts of attack. Her attack is base 259, and when we're going ahead and add some more statistics from her board, we're going to see that she gets additional flat 57 attack, a plus 3 agility, a plus 10 crit, which is very crucial, and a solid 20% extra attack. One way to measure or gauge how good a unit is supposed to be, and perhaps deciding which cards or espers to attach to the unit, is going to be looking at her master abilities. Now when you look at hers, she gets additional 10% attack and an evasion rate of plus 10. Her Trust Master reward is called Bewitching Heals. It is an accessory. It gives reasonable amount of HP of 182. It adds some defense, which she will need. She gives extra accuracy and a solid agility of plus 5. Her skill is called False Veil of Darkness. It decreases chance of being targeted and bestows Light Eater on self for 3 turns. It has 1 use and consumes 24 TP. Vinera is a dark unit, and she has 3 jobs that are quite suited for her. Assassin being the unique class, that's her main, Thief as a sub-job, and Dual Gunner as the other sub-job. Let's talk about the abilities of each individual jobs. The first one is going to be, of course, the Assassin. Pillaging Blade is very good for farming. It steals an item and it does moderate damage. The reactive ability Dark Shadow has a chance to increase evasion and also increase CT when damage is taken. Marauder's Blade, it deals moderate damage to target and reduces defense significantly. Actually, it decreases by 50, which is quite a bit. Bind is actually one of my favorite skills. It inflicts paralysis to target for 3 turns. Armor Cleaver reduces defense significantly to the target for 3 turns and deals heavy damage to it. Armor Cleaver decreases defense by 30. Condemning Blade, I feel like, is going to be very powerful against those tanks. It inflicts moderate damage and has a chance to inflict doom. This is probably also a really good way to try to cheese your way through some of the boss fights that are going to be susceptible to the doom mechanic. The Thief job is actually quite useful, especially in raids and perhaps in specific situations where you require her to be somewhat of a supporting unit. Thief's lore a passive ability gives her move +1 and increases her agility by 12. Shadow Cast increases her evasion, and it's going to be quite useful in this specific situation. If you're going to use Thief as a job for your farming routines, Mug is also very good, similar to Pillaging Blade. Steal Time is where she will truly shine. Decreasing the enemy's CT and increases her own speed is going to be very important in Raid. Snipe Dagger can do some reasonable damage, and when you're using her as a thief to do steal time, there are going to be situations where you're going to have to continue the chain, therefore Snipe Dagger is going to be quite useful. Smokescreen increases her defense and evasion, which is a quite cool combination. Smokescreen increases her evasion by 30% and her defense by a solid 20. Double Shot is where she can potentially chain with other gunners as well. It deals heavy damage and does 2 consecutive shots. Stun Shot has a chance to inflict stun, which in my opinion is pretty good too, especially when you're trying to team up on an enemy unit. Tune Up is a passive skill that increases her agility and defensive piercing rate. Defense piercing rate will be increased by 40% and her agility be increased by 12. When it comes to weapons, Mage Masher is perhaps going to be her best bet. This dagger has a very high attack, and if you go with the assault version, it's going to be somewhere within 180 plus of total attack power. It has accuracy and also has crit. Some people might suggest using the crit version, but personally I suggest the assault version. And the reason being is because she will decrease enemy defense with her skills, thus having the highest attack power possible is going to give you the most bang for the buck. Her Trustmaster will be perhaps the best accessory for her because of the fact it gives her defense as well as agility. Sometimes if her evasion fails, relying on her defense can be very useful against enemy physical attacking units. One of the cheapest armor to farm in this game is the Scholar Robe. You can go for either the defensive or the Spirit version. If you want to pad her HP, go for the Vital version. Vision cards are going to be 3 cards that I highly recommend. Echoing Screams, which will increase slash attack up. Shiva, which will increase her evasion rate. And one of the newest cards, Deceptive Vows. Slash attack up for her individually and evasion up for the entire party. If you do decide to go with the dual gunner route, Sharpened Concentration is one of the cheaper versions that you can use for her, along with perhaps the Frederica UR card, which will also increase missile attack up. When thinking about Espers, I'll recommend 3 of them. The first one is going to be Tetrasilphid. This is if you decide to go the dual gunner route. I have here mapped out for you, increasing evasion, increasing accuracy, increasing missile attack. The other options you could go with will be the Odin route, in which you can increase evasion, increase accuracy, increase slash attack, and of course increasing against humans. The third one, which is not released yet on global, is going to be Vinera the Wolf, which can also increase tons of attack power for her. Vinera has strong resistance against slash attacks and strong resistance against projectile attacks. However, she is quite weak to magic. She is strong to poison and strong to sleep. When it comes to build, it's probably the most important for her because many people really want to know what are the best build for her. Personally, if you go the slashing route using Assassin as her job, then you're going to be very restrictive in terms of range. You're also going to be restrictive in terms of TP consumption skills. Therefore, you're going to be lacking in the area of AP in the beginning of combat. My suggestion is go with the dual gunner. 1, you have more range. 2. You also have access to some of your assassin skills. 3. You have TP using skills, therefore giving you AP in the beginning of combat. Now, as far as his passive skill sets is concerned, I suggest Tuna. It increases her agility and defense. Thief Lore increases her agility. For reaction skills, I recommend Dark Shadow. No matter which sub job you go with, she always has some sort of evasion buff, which is going to be very crucial for her. Just bear in mind though, one of her biggest weaknesses in this entire game is having your evasion build completely ignored, and that's because of the skill called Holy. In Arena, ideally you can either ignore completely units that use the Holy skill, or just take Vinera out of your lineup. In PvP, of course, you will never know what you're going to run into. But for normal PvE content, there's not a whole lot to worry about, whichever build you go with, she'll shine quite well. Now for my final thoughts. Vinera is one high damaging unit. Add the fact that she can reduce enemy defense, she can perhaps be known as the Tank Smasher. However, it is quite crucial to build her with evasion. But if evasion does fail, she's going to be very susceptible to death. If I was to give her a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I would easily grade her a 9.5. Add the fact that she has good looks, huge, well, I don't need to go over that part, but for the sake of gameplay, she is very useful on your team. She has high evasion, she has high damage, and she has huge mobility. That's all the time I have for this video. I want to thank you for watching, and I really enjoy making this video. If you have requests for any unit that you want to see to be reviewed, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. As always, take care of yourself and all your loved ones. Nashtaters and his friends out.